Hello everyone, and today is the first ever new entry in a series I'd like to call Conversation Starter, where we're going to discuss different topics from all of history. Stuff that just, it's a nice way to start a conversation. Such as, what would have happened if the Sony Nintendo deal went along? You know, the Nintendo and Sony deal that was going to happen. I think it was an add-on for the SNES. Plans fell through. Nintendo went with Philips CDI, and then we got the PlayStation, and we got those amazing Zelda games. Well done, Nintendo. What would have happened if the Montreal Screwdriver never happened? Etc. Etc. Now, today we're going to be discussing, should Carnival of Light be released? Now, if you're unaware what Carnival of Light is, it was a Beatles song commissioned by the Million Volt Light and Sound Rave. Now, that was an event in 1967, February. During a recording of Penny Lane, they were approached and asked to do this thing for this event. Basically, the Million Volt Light and Sound Rave was basically, it was like your Coachella sort of thing. It wasn't really Coachella. It was like I don't know how you describe it. It's like a circus tent, and you go in and like it'd be like a clubhouse, and there'd be like lights everywhere. It was a light show basically, a light show with music. And the Beatles were commissioned to make a exclusive song for it called Carnival of Light. It got played at the event, but since then, almost no one's never heard it. The song is often described as, it's 14 minutes long, which is a long song. It has distorted, echo-laden sounds of percussion, keyboard, guitar, vocals. From what I was told, Paul McCartney was its initial creator, and he just kind of turned around to the lads and went, go off and do whatever you want. Just go off, and whatever comes to mind, do it. Which is fun. So, yeah, it's just, from what the song describes, it's just kind of the Beatles running around their studio, just screaming. It's a madhouse. Now, you may think, oh, that sounds awful. From what I described, have you ever, if anyone's ever heard Revolution Number 9, which is also by the Beatles, mainly by John Lennon, the song sounds very similar to that. And Revolution Number 9 is awful. And this is coming from a die-hard Beatles stan. So, so, yeah. But thing is, then you think, of course not. Don't release Revolution Number 9. Don't release Carnival of Light. It sounds dreadful. Thing is, it's very important to the Beatles' history. Because as a Beatles fan, surely you'd want to hear every song they released. But if we're not getting this one, and it's one that, funny enough, it sounds awful, and it probably is, but it's important. We need to listen. We need it. Should it be released? I'd say so. But if you're wondering why, as well, why it's not already been released, that's because Paul McCartney, Paul McCartney has wanted to release it for so long, no one else does. He originally wanted to include it on the anthology album, but I think it was in 2000, something like that. But George Harrison said no. Ringo said no. John Lennon said no. John Lennon was dead, but Yoko said no. And since George Harrison's death, he's wanting to keep including it on like the I think it was like the White Album's 50th anniversary or something recently, and he wanted to include it on that. Linda, not Linda, I forget her name. George Harrison's wife said no, and Ringo said no, and Yoko again said no. So I don't know. Paul McCartney has been very adamant it needs to be heard, and I kind of agree with him. But at the same point, I mean, it's not going to be good anyway. So, what do you guys think? It's probably not a great song. I mean, it is just, again, the Beatles. It is, again, just John, Paul, George, and Ringo just running around their studio screaming and wailing and grabbing whatever they can, just playing it loudly. So, it's probably awful. But that's the conversation point. Should Carnival of Light be released? Answer in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a good one.